Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us for this special episode of InTouch. You're used to watching our show by now, and every day we have a different community and a different language that presents the show. In today's special 54th Independence Day of Kuwait episode, we gathered all these people in one episode. It's going to be an amazing episode, and you're going to see a lot of things from all of us in all different communities, so stay tuned. Hello everyone, and thanks for still being with us. I want to share a very important, dear to my heart kind of report that I gathered for this special episode. It's going to be basically, today is the Independence Day and we're sharing a lot of our joy and happiness amongst each other in Kuwait. But now I want to share this information to everyone else because this show is about all the different communities, and I want to share this information to everyone watching us outside Kuwait and inside Kuwait as well. I'm going to direct this report to our friends in Denmark. Why? Because Denmark has contributed a lot for Kuwait's architecture. And at this time, I wish all the Danish people and all Denmark's safety. But the Danish people, and there's a lot of Danish firms that have built one of the most, a lot of the most architecture symbols of Kuwait, such as the Kuwait Towers, which is the national symbol of Kuwait. That was built by a Danish firm. And the Kuwait Parliament, the National Assembly, was also built by a Danish architect. And that is going to be our report, and we're going to focus on this architect because he is an amazing, award-winning architect who was born in 1918. He died in 2008. His name is Jorn Utzon, a Danish architect. Basically, he had designed the architecture of the Parliament House, and his son Jan Utzon is the one who directed it. So basically the whole family actually had to do with it. Now, the Kuwait Parliament House is so beautiful. In the report you'll understand why it's designed that way. It's very interesting how it's basically designed. It has a lot to do with Kuwait's market, old market. Jorn Utzon had also basically built a lot of other architecture designs and a lot of other buildings that you probably didn't know about, that the same person who did the Parliament Houses also did the Sydney Opera House. And also he did the Bausverra, I'm trying to pronounce my Danish as well as I can, the Bausverra Church in Denmark, which is also a national symbol of Denmark, if not internationally. It's also a very well-known church in the northern part of Denmark. That was also done by Jorn Utzon. So basically he's done a lot of things around the world. He's very well known, so we're very proud to have that kind of architect do something for Kuwait that is actually a national symbol for us and a symbol for our democracy. In 1991, something unfortunate happened. The Iraqi forces, when they left, they set a lot of fire to it. So internally, there was some damage, but externally, luckily, nothing happened. So when you see the building from the outside, there was no damage. But a lot of things have changed internally from the fire. But nevertheless, it's still standing and it's still a symbol of our democracy. So without further ado, let's go see this report, and we hope you enjoy it.
The Kuwait National Assembly building was designed by Danish architect Jorn Utzon, the same architect who designed the Sydney Opera House. The site is located at the seafront of Kuwait. The Kuwait National Assembly nowadays is the icon of politics in Kuwait, the symbol of democracy, and the image of the freedom of speech. While teaching in Hawaii, Jorn Utzon received an invitation to participate in a competition for the National Assembly in Kuwait. After accepting the invitation, Utzon began sending preliminary sketches to Oktay Neyman in London to prepare construction drawings, and to his son Jan in Denmark to produce models. With his familiarity with Islamic architecture, Utzon based his design on the characteristics of a souk, a market, a walled miniature city consisting of sections arranged around courtyards and access through a central hall. Jorn Utzon said, quote, "We had the idea of constructing the building around a central hall, a bazaar street, in such a way that all departments met in side roads off the bazaar road, just as we know from the bazaars in the Middle East and Africa." End quote. The design consisted of a parliamentary chamber, a large conference hall, each with drop-down roofs. Now, with the covered square, the corners of an incomplete rectangle were formed. After 3 years of working on the project, Utzon decided that the structural elements should be round rather than rectilinear. In 1975, it was finally decided for the project to begin construction. Utzon insisted on keeping the covered square, as to him it was an architecturally necessary link between the great open natural space over the sea and the enclosed building. The project was completed in 1982. Inspired from traditional architecture, the debating chamber has no windows, while the offices are illuminated only from the courtyards. In the corridors, the library, and the cafeteria, indirect light is provided through skylights in the form of half-barrel vaults. The project consists of a basement for services and 2 upper levels with offices, reception, meeting rooms, a library, and a cafeteria. The iconic design element of the National Assembly consists of an inclined roof that rises towards the Gulf with a public square below. It encompasses an area of 40 meters by 80 meters with rows of columns with semi-cylindrical shells to support the roof. In 2003, the late Jorn Utzon said, "The whole seems to be born by the meeting between the ocean and the building, in the same natural way as the surf is born by the meeting of the ocean and the beach."